Oh, I hate
What
his
the
voice so
flying
much.
fuck was that?
That's Craig's now recording voice.
Craig, go fuck yourself. I record that.
Wait, shh. He's recording. That means the bot owners can totally hear this. Anyways, welcome to the last show on Morrowind server. This is also my audition tape for Charlie, so hopefully this doesn't completely suck.
You're doing what now?
Audition tape for Charlie. Charlie wanted to hear a recording of how our modern show sounds like before he decided to move us to FFM,
I'm really annoyed
whether or
because
not to move us.
I have to go exit the forum post because I just get a bunch of notifications each time anyone posts. No one cares that DB joined the war, you guys. Don't post on that forum.
I mean, I care enough. Glad to see DB still doing stupid shit every once in a while. So, to lead in, Turok has a topic he wanted to bring up, and that's basically he believes, or would it be too extreme to say you believe grumpy old bastards are on their last legs?
Oh, Grumpy Old Bastards is pretty much done. They had, like, two hitters they had that were gonna be really annoying to take care of. They had Philandia and they had Sebastian or Seb or whatever the heck his name is. Emerald Bank. I'm just gonna call him Seb.
Done
But
in the context of Global War 14, or done in the context as the game as a whole?
I were they certainly done in Global War 14. I think there was a possibility that they are done in terms of their overall thing. Just to give some history for people who aren't familiar with them, Dusty, I think Dusty probably knows, but I don't know if others know. Seb
I'm
was the.
sure everyone knows. A lot of the people in the voice channel are game veterans over you
That's,
and me.
that's true. I'll just say it anyway to fill up time. Seb was the first person in the game to get to 40 cities, I believe, and he helped Philandia get to 40 cities as well. Um, so he helped him get there, and Philandia ended up becoming a larger member because he had more military, and so even early on, it was clear to everyone who was in the game that if there was probably one member holding the bank, it would be Philandia. So he was generally seen as the last person who was going to get hit. However, and I don't know if I have the date off the top of my head or in the notes, Philandia as well as Byzantine Empire, also known as Bele, and Emerald Bank, all oh, there is a. Okay, hang on. I'll let people get over in the show commentary.
I mean, they can move while you're talking. Go ahead, continue.
That's fair. Where they all, for the most part, were starting to down declare on people. But on August 28th, sorry, I was just checking the date. On August 28th, someone sent George from BK a screenshot of Philandia's bank, as well as the fact that um, Big Whiskey, I think it was, Emerald Bank, and Byzantine Empire Belly were all hitting them. And so Alex ended up getting involved after a bunch of people went to him and saying, look, they're not attacking, this is just slot filling. And Alex ended up deleting $3.5 billion worth of money and resources, which was, I mean, I don't think that was the entirety of GOB's bank. They had like $18 billion in there, along with a bunch of resources. They probably have more than that as their total bank, right, Matt?
I'd say, yeah, that's a safe bet.
Okay. But even for an alliance like GOB, having $3.5 billion deleted, even though they sent messages to Alex being like, we're not slot filling, we're going to hit them, they didn't end up doing so. They got the bank, 10% of the bank deleted. And then the next day, I think it was, Philandia sold down from 4K info per city down to 1K, as well as got rid of a bunch of his military, and he just got absolutely swarmed, and he ended up going VM 2 days after the bank was. Oh, I don't know who Very Cool is, but they were not muted.
They're a member, IRL friend who I dragged into this game against their will.
I'm very sorry, Very Cool. So 2 days, you can't talk, you muted. 2 days after the bank was deleted, Philandia went into VM mode for 300 days, basically fully taking him out of the war. Ah, shit, now George is here. And then soon after that, Seb went into VM as well, and he has since extended that VM twice, basically making it very clear that he has no intention on returning to this war. He's just going to keep on extending it. So considering everyone else in GOB has been pretty much slaughtered, Belly from Rose is pretty much down, Ripper from COS is pretty much down. There are no whales left, and GOB as Alliance of Wales, they did their best early in the war to remain out of it, as Matt can attest, they did the same thing during Nightfall. They like to try and keep their score up to be out of the war. They really, really don't like being dragged down like this, and I don't know if Philandia is coming back at all, and I don't know how well the other members of GOB are going to react to Seb basically throwing them under the bus and going VM mode to save his own nation. So you have one 40 city nation quitting, who was one of the most well-known people in the game because of how loud she was, and then you have Seb, who's basically given up on the war and fled. Don't ping me.
No,
Because
he's pinging you in context of the show. So I'll ask you his question for him since you're being rude about it. Do you expect us to see a recreation of Test or Sparta?
I know there's no news, George, but we're just currently mentioning this because.
Shh, just talk about the topic. I'll respond to George.
Okay. I honestly don't know if we saw if we're gonna see Test come back. I don't really know what Spider was. Test got disassembled way before Global 14, right? When did Test fall apart, Matt?
I can't remember.
Yeah,
Can somebody get me that date?
I don't know if we'll see a recreation of Test or Spider. I don't know why we would. I'm not sure what it has to do with the war, but with nations with alliances such as shut up, George.
Oh, Dark Brotherhood.
Yeah, we know Dark
Declaration of War.
Brotherhood.
That is good new news. I will unmute George for that one because I would like BK leadership's perspective on that. Too bad Kurtog doesn't hang out with me, so I can't get any of their leadership's perspective.
That's true. I don't think DB joining the war is going to do much. They're just going to get
I mainly
slaughtered.
when I say BK's perspective, I want to see all the jokes George is gonna make.
Oh yeah, George is going to make fun of him. I'm betting. But yeah, I don't know if we're going to see Test or Spider. I don't really know what Spider is. But there's a good possibility. Oh, okay. There's a possibility that we are going to see Imperia break apart, and if we end up seeing Grumpy break apart, which I personally think is a possibility, then that could really shake up some things depending on where those whales end up going. Imperia is just a mess of an alliance, so I don't really know what good their breaking up would do for other alliances, but I think it will be interesting to see how the political landscape changes up.
I don't know. I hope Grumpy Old Bastard stays alive. One, I just love the aesthetic, the whole we're angry old whales theme they're going with, and two, I hate whales with a passion, and I hope their little autism shack keeps all the whales shackled there.
Why do you hate whales? Sphinx is a whale, and Sphinx is great.
I mean, Sphinx is alright. My only interaction with Sphinx has been him non-stop nagging me to merge Pantheon into him.
Classic Sphinx. Are you gonna unmute George, by the way?
Yeah, I'll unmute George. He's going to be remuted after he says what he wants on Dark Brotherhood, though. I want to just do a one co-host tonight. You've been unmuted, George.
You suck. I demand to be unmuted the entire show, or I'm going to declare war on you.
He threatens
Well,
us every time.
But I was just finding it interesting that the peace term for Dark Brotherhood was they had to enter another war.
I mean,
That's the first time that's ever happened in history. So I think it's kind of a big event. Especially,
I
the
mean-
fun part is Dark Brotherhood's first global war is a global war they're being forced to enter via a peace treaty.
and
I
they're
mean, what
joining as
if,
an
like,
they're joining as an independent coalition, right, George? They're not joining coalition A or B.
They are going to be in Coalition B.
Oh, can we refuse them?
I wish that was an option.
We're joining coalition B. No, we're good.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Your application for admittance to Coalition B has been rejected. It did not meet the necessary votes. So I just found that interesting. What's your take on that?
honestly, Dark Brotherhood hasn't been relevant to my radar, at least, since Fist tried to merge them into me. So I have no idea what the current Dark Brotherhood looks like.
Well,
I just think
I'm not even referring to Dark Brotherhood itself. I'm talking about being forced into a war by a peace treaty.
Who was the peace
That-
treaty with?
That House of Stark splinter thing.
honestly,
Okay.
I don't know why they'd even agree to it. If you're going to be rolled either way, why the hell would you? Why the hell wouldn't you take a stand in the war you're currently with instead of throwing yourself into a war after surrendering? So you take the hit to your PR and your pride of surrendering, and you also force your alliance to continue being rolled. There's no win here. They took what would have been a win-lose situation and turned it into a lose-lose situation.
Well, there they go. I just noticed they have attacked me too. Haha, that's fucking great. I gotta take a lesson out of this book, and this is gonna be my new terms. So, Booty, Rose's peace term is gonna be you have to hit FARC.
Oh yeah, that can be an interesting thing we can mention. Matt, what do you know about the guinea pig whaling company thing?
I've actually hung out in air quotes with somebody from Guinea Pig. They were raiding a member, an inactive member. I've already kicked the member out, so I countered them for fun, and I told them I'm countering them for fun, and we just started chatting. Guinea Pig's doing something really weird. They're all on 100% tax, and I was under the thought that they were fighting in the global, but they're not anymore. Orders came down for them to stop fighting in the global, so they're kind of just sitting around, and that's why their active members have been raiding out of boredom.
I mean, they're 22 days old and they're already in the top 30. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that there's nearly 600 of the
Yeah.
fuckers. But even if
0.25 scores add up. I mean,
Yeah,
0.25.
they average 120 score, but even if their numbers get cut down to like 60 to 80 members who actually play and get tiered, that could be a decent addition to NPO.
George, you know, in NPO, do they lower their taxes during globals?
Nope.
All right.
NPO gives
100,
no fucks.
100. Well, we did this. Oh, whoa, my voice just cracked. We did this for only because of the fact that we had Infrasoul down. So they lost the improvements, so it made no sense to tax them either way.
All right. So the 100 taxes are not, but they are not participating in the global, according to what the member told me.
No,
So
they are not.
I think
and they
they're-
never have been.
I think they're just sitting there for revenue. NPO's using them as a second bake source as they slowly go inactive completely.
It's going to be their own alliance eventually. It's probably going to form under their own name after the war, though.
I mean, considering 302 of them are gray, and then another 94 of them are in beige, so that's like roughly 400 of them that are either beige or in gray. So it's not making a bunch of money for them so far, because I think gray doesn't pay any taxes, right? I don't know if
Correct.
they go to gray. Okay. But still, if it's like a 400 who are in beige or gray, that's a good 200 who are not, paying taxes. So, have we seen anything like this before, George?
An invasion alliance? MPO.
Well, is it NPO? Yeah, NPO is an invasion alliance. But was NPO's first? Oh wait, I was about to say NPO's first time, but that's the name of a war. Was NPO's first visit to politics and war this massive of an invasion?
Theirs are more controlled invasions, where they bring members over who they know are going to stay, and they go from there. You got to remember the MPO; they already have a base community, so they already have people who play these types of games. So it's not really a trial and error for them. It's straight. They make a forum post. They say, "Hey, we're going to join this. Please sign up here," and they'll give you the startup instructions. It's not like this. It comes from a anime server. So like they have nothing to do with these types of games. So it's more trial and error.
On the point of Immortals, I've talked with the leader of Immortals because that's another one that people have been speculating it's an invasion alliance, but the leader vehemently denies it being an invasion alliance. Do you believe otherwise, or do you think that they could get this big this quickly with pure recruitment tactics alone?
My guess is they recruited through some type of means. I don't think it's Invasion Alliance. I just think he probably have friends join, or they went on some Reddit or something. But they could also. Was it all new nations? I haven't really looked at the Immortals.
There's some big nations too. I'm thinking they're also doing recruitment of war deserters.
Yeah, that could explain it. War deserters need a place to go.
I mean, I've been avoiding the war deserter recruitment just because I don't like war deserters from, PTSD from my time in Pantheon.
Pantheon was a war deserter alone.
Yep.
Speaking of Pantheon, awesome, great fucking segue there. Speaking of Pantheon, they have a new leader, and that's the main topic for tonight's show. So, any opinions from you, George, from the outset? What do you think of Pantheon's new leader?
Who the fuck are they? I don't even know who they are.
They were the leader of Pantheon's military, so they are incompetent.
They have Six has never once done FA, and I think that's probably a trend we're going to see in the show a lot tonight, is how unprepared Six might be. But on the other hand, the other option, Luke, has also never done FA. Both of them were not allowed to do FA when I was in Pantheon because both of them were kind of awful people. And merge into Morrowind, yeah. I like a lot of their members, but anybody who joined after they left sucks. Only the members who hung out with me.
I mean, I think from people I remember back when I was there, there was Six. I think, Luke was there, Gumi is there, and Jinto is there. I don't know who else is left.
Let's see. I'll just go into their Discord real quick and see who I think was there when you were around. Of government, yeah, everybody you just listed were the only governments members that were there.
And Rid Cully, of course.
Well, Rid Cully doesn't even count.
Yeah, that's true. You would instantly develop stage 5 cancer, George.
You would die in a second just from toxicity. No, and that's the big problem with Six, is that he's very... I mean, can he be nationalist with an alliance like this? An alliance in a game? But he is very nationalist, and that's what I liked about him. So, to not get off the script, let's just start with why he's in Titan right now. Their former leader, Rar, lover or hater, did go inactive. The same path as Ethos before her, which means and the same path as the Emperor before Ethos, and the same path... Oh wait, no, not the same path before Emperor. They just tried to merge into TCW. What I'm saying is I'm starting to see a trend here. She went inactive. She was removed legally. This isn't a coup, so it wasn't an illegal removal of her. They did operate within the parameters of the charter. However, those parameters are extremely biased because all it requires is 100% support from the Olympic Court at the time of her removal and at the time right now. the Olympic court consists of 2 people.
The 2 people in government.
So they've refrained from promoting the guy I set up to take up after me in IA to the Olympic court, and there still isn't an FA head from even when the Emperor first left. So when did the Emperor leave? February 14th. So since
Yeah.
February 14th, Pantheon hasn't had an actual head of foreign affairs.
Literally over half a year.
Yeah, over half a year, Pantheon hasn't had a head in foreign affairs. And the 2 people left in Pantheon's high government are not only inexperienced in foreign affairs, I actually went straight to Rarbeck when I was doing foreign affairs for Pantheon and said, make sure these people aren't allowed to do actual foreign affairs. Because Nomi is fucking insane, and Luke is just kind of an asshole, nonchalantly. So FA-wise, they're kind of screwed unless they can pull something out of their ass, because their greatest potential for FA went and founded an alliance called the Immortals.
Yeah.
All right, so looking at them now, I think they're not really growing member-wise, because I can scroll through their members, and a lot of the members I see, Breather, Creepy Troll, Katie, Noodle, I'm just going through the inactive members right now. All of the all the active members right now, people who are logged on Discord, like 100% joined when I was around, even before I was Olympian of IA. These are people who have been here for a while, so I'm thinking Pantheon isn't getting a lot of new members. They're really just surviving on their core membership.
I mean, looking through it, I see through the first 50, I see 3 people who have been there for less than 100 days so far.
Yeah. So they've only really got their core members left, which is a bad sign at this point. Like, if you have your core members in a war, that's great, because then you know you're not going to have massive war desertion. But if you've been at peace for how long ago was Nova's war?
3 months? 2 or 3 months?
At least more than 2 days ago.
Maybe even more than a week.
Yeah. So however long ago, they haven't really seen an increase in actual membership. And one of the main reasons behind that, I theorize, is that their bot guy, they've had 2 bot guys. One is I can't pronounce their name, a super Vietnamese name. And the second is Badger. Badger, yeah. Carrot said it for me.
Sock War began on May 4th, so about 2 months ago.
2 months ago. So both their main bot guy, the Vietnamese one, has gone completely inactive. And Badger does not stick with Pantheon. He's in Immortals right now. I think Immortals is a great place for him since he was besties with Tyrion in his Pantheon days. However,
I take that back. Sock War was 4 months ago. I fucking suck.
Sock War was 4 months ago. Basically,
May.
their bot guys don't stay. They don't have any bot guys to my knowledge right now. I'm starting to get sidetracked because I'm looking through their Discord. But no, they don't have any bot guys, so they don't have a recruitment bot. And Pantheon's IA thrived on a recruitment bot. We don't have like some amazing recruitment team. I know we won the greatest recruitment team back in last year's Orbis Awards. What are those called? I've got a... Alright, Orbis Awards. I thought they had a more pretentious name than that. So we ran off a bot and we accepted practically everyone who came through our doors. And that's why we grew so quickly. The bot's dead, which means Pantheon's not getting any new members. Alright, so under the leadership, let's give Nomi and Luke. They're 2 leaders. So Nomi is the head and Luke is the second in command. Let's give them a little profile. Nomi is former Milcom, and he was actually good at Milcom. I am obligated to say by Pantheon standards, he was good at Milcom. So take that knowledge with what you will. I would trust him in a Milcom position in my current alliance, but my current alliance is a tiny micro. So take that also for what you will. He's fucking insane. Like, legitimately crazy. If I went to war with Pantheon, I wouldn't be surprised if I woke up with a horse's head in my bed, mad.
He nearly got arrested in real life for attacking someone.
Yeah, and he went offline during that stint. He's bipolar too. Like, when he first came back to Pantheon after he left it before, he got in a massive fight with me over nothing. And then the next day, he really was practically brown-nosing me. Like, it was a big enough fight, I thought he was going to storm out of the Alliance if I didn't lose my position.
So in other words, Pantheon is being Pantheon and has a very unstable government.
Yeah. Well, Nomi brings a new term to a new meaning to the term unstable leader. I would not recommend him to be leader, is kind of what I'm getting at, but I do believe he would do great in Milcom. However, their only other option would have been Luke, who's their econ head right now. I love it. Luke, I've always thought Luke's my best friend. However, Luke absolutely hates me because he's one of the most negative people I've ever met. He would have made a better leader than Nomi. However, Luke doesn't want to take on any more responsibility.
I'd say not to Gumi Bacon because I don't think Gumi is interested in leadership.
Gumi's not ready. And
Yeah,
he
he's-
would be ready by now if they would just go ahead and fucking promote him. However, right now Pantheon seems to be so against promoting new people to the Olympic court that it's borderline corrupt.
Borderline. The two people in the Olympic court became two people later in the government. What a surprise.
I wouldn't really have it any other way. I'd have Luke as Titan and Nomi as second in command, but the two current people in the Olympic court would have been in the leadership positions in a perfect world too, unless I was still in Pantheon. Then I would have tried to have fought for leader. I don't think I would have been the greatest leader. I don't think I would have even been better than Fist, but I think I could have done a tidbit better than Nomi will. But I'll give Nomi a chance. I believe in him. I left Pantheon because I didn't like Pantheon's format, I didn't like Pantheon's culture, and I especially didn't like the fact that Fist made 5/5 tax rate deals behind everyone's back with the whales. Yeah, well, Gumi has the potential to be a great IA leader. I tried to train him the best I could. Mel tried to train him the best he could. And Sunara, our golden girl of IA, tried to train him the best she could. Like, Gumi has the potential. However, because they've refused to promote him, Gumi hasn't been trained or been familiarized with Olympian power and position. In Pantheons it is, and remember, Pantheon runs by different rules because Pantheon's fucking stupid. So whenever you say high gov isn't like low gov, you forget that Pantheon really is stupid. When you're high gov of a department with a weak and active Titan like Rar, or a lazy Titan like Fist, or a just invisible Titan like Ethos, if you're high government, you practically have all power as long as you don't get in the way of the other departments. Like, it's infinite power, and you got to make sure people don't abuse that, or people aren't too timid not to use it.
You should do it.
My points.
The first time I actually saw you was doing shit going down with the coup, and you came into Pantheon Discord, and you were like, "You guys suck, disband."
No, I think George was the one that was like, why the fuck does Matthew have 50 different roles for 50 different departments? And I said, because I have to babysit all the departments. And he said, just make Matthew Titan. And I said, I'm too fucking stupid. Don't make Matthew Titan.
And no one disagreed with you.
No, I even have it on my script. Like, on my script, I'm giving points about all the leaders in Pantheon. And I put myself in. And Matthew's point is, could have been leader, but didn't like Pantheon format or culture. Fucking stupid. And just merge into Morrowind already, you cucks.
To look back at Pantheon's history, and again, I was only there for Fist and then Ethos, and I left after that. Did Has Pantheon ever really had a good leader? It went Fist, then like Yui wasn't a good leader because she was too nice. Felky is Felky, he's a twat.
Ridcully, in the times I've seen Ridcully in action, George, were you long enough to like be around when Ridcully was leader, and did you even interact with Pantheon when that happened? And just I don't know anybody who knows Ridcully when he was actually leader, but when Ridcully actually gets off his ass and does stuff in Pantheon, he's probably the most competent Gov member still there. So I would like to believe Ridcully was a good leader for Pantheon. However, I'm not sure. And that's never going to change. When I was IA and technically FA, I made this radio show because I knew we were the Joke Alliance, and I knew I could be funny 10% of the time, so I tried to own it and try to boost PR by owning it. Rebuild time when I left, we were running 15-15. However, I think it goes up to 30-30 at average. I'm new tie-in. I don't even know. I mean, you're right. You're absolutely right. But Pantheon will never do that. And that goes back to your opinion on they don't want to improve. Pantheon has a problem with how they view what makes an alliance good. And under Fist, Rar tried to get rid of this. Rar did her damnedest to get rid of this mentality, but it didn't really stick. Even with me, like even I didn't really register it till I finally left and made my own alliance. And Fist was the one that really drove it into our Gov. And everybody in Gov right now was Gov under Fist to some extent. Even Luke was assisting Econ and Milcom was Gov to some extent under Fist. So that I guess we can say they got brainwashed by Fist. To believe that score is what makes a great an alliance, and to have a great score means your alliance is great. And so Fist ran a mass recruiting, mass accepting program, which is basically accept anyone as long as they aren't a multi or Hitler reincarnate, and our score will go up. Who cares if they don't grow at all as long as our score goes up? And so that's
Shout
why
out to
even with 150 members, which we did have 150 members, we still weren't even top 4.
Shout out to the fact that Pantheon, had a treaty with Reichstag, possibly a Nazi alliance.
Oh, shut up. I love Motkey. Motkey's my
I know.
bestie.
I know, I have to make fun of him though.
So from what I know, Luke knows how to play the game. He knows how to play the game well. He knows all the econ stuff you need to know about the game. So Luke would be their saving grace. And the big problem is Luke doesn't like doing the work. Luke doesn't want to be promoted. Luke didn't even want to get the job he has now. Like, yeah, he's loyal to Pantheon. He'll even burn his nation for Pantheon. He doesn't even mind putting himself in higher taxes. It's not a concern of loyalty. Luke just doesn't want to take up any extra work, even if it is for Pantheon. So their saving grace doesn't want any extra work, and so they're stuck. Well, not stuck. I mean, I believe Nomi might be able to pull them out, but only if they shrink. If Pantheon intentionally pushes themselves out of the top 15 and pushes themselves into micro tier and acts as a micro alliance instead of pretending to be a macro alliance, Nomi could lead them. Because Nomi leads like a micro leader. He's confident to the border of conky. He's kind of an asshole. And he likes to threaten you all the time. That's basically all the makings of your typical micro leader. I'm not. High taxes.
I think a lot of the people who would do that, though, like you said, a lot of people in Gov now were pretty much brainwashed by Fist. But for the people who were there for like a legitimate length of time, there was TK's, who's gone. There was Batavia, who's gone. There was myself, I'm gone. There was Sunada, she's gone. You, Matt, you left. Everyone who's been around long enough to have like known what they've been know what they've been doing, going through major wars like global wars and stuff like that. Not many people like that are left.
Well, I hate to say it, the reason they're gone is because Fist left.
Yeah.
Like, Fist, and this is really mean thing to say for somebody I love, but it's kind of true. Fist kind of led like Adolf Hitler. As in, he wasn't a great leader, but he used a cult of personality. We all loved Fist. Like, I'll admit it right now. I still consider Fist a great friend. Turok probably still considers Fist a great friend. Anybody who used to be in Pantheon still really likes Fist as a person. And so we all kind of stuck around because we wanted to help Fist out. We never wanted to help Pantheon out. The whole reason I was against Pantheon disbanding when I was still Pantheon Gov, and Rar really did bring up disbanding Pantheon, is because I didn't want to kill Fist's alliance. Not because I didn't want to kill Pantheon, I didn't want to kill Fist's alliance. It's kind of a loyalty to Fist that kept us there. So when Fist left and only incompetent leaders replaced, or leaders who were competent but were complete assholes replaced him, people just drifted away. If I rejoin Pantheon uncooted, I just merge it into Morrowind.
I was gonna
So
say
it stay being shit.
you could coup it and then just rename it Morrowind.
No, they wouldn't re-accept me. I already told Nomi and Luke, and I told Luke in the FA server, and I told Nomi and his PMs that I could get somebody set up in my air slot, and if they ever needed help, I would go into Pantheon and help them, and they outright declined. So no, they probably won't take me back in. Oh no. Pantheon didn't trust Turok so much they didn't even promote him in FA.
Yeah, I was gonna say, one, Nomi doesn't like me, he wouldn't let me in. Two, in addition to my many annoying features, one of the things I really like is having my length in an alliance be long, so I would be a bit reluctant to leave BK and snap the 180-day train.
All right, so on the point of their department capabilities, so we've kind of talked to them as people, but I want to sort of discuss.
Plus, if I joined Pantheon again, it would just restart every single fucking roast I got from everyone in BK George, and I'm not about to do that.
Yeah, he'd restart the roast cycle. So on to their points as department leaders. I want to talk more about their department experience. So Nomi has a brain for econ and is great at Milcom by Pantheon standards, and Luke is great at econ, and he's decent at Milcom, but neither of them that I've seen when I've been in the Alliance have shown any experience at FA and IA. And FA, both of them are downright awful options. Luke, I think, can learn FA as long as he just puts on an act and stops being a general asshole. Nomi will never be great at FA because the moment he feels like you're kind of belittling him, he'll start threatening. And it's great to have pride, but if Nomi really did FA for Pantheon, Pantheon would be in a new war every weekend, which maybe Pantheon needs it.
Shout out to the fact that Limu just pinged Nomi.
Oh, I invited him on the show, and if he said he was going to go on the show, I was going to go ahead and tell him beforehand that we are going to be insulting him and his alliance. But then I'd make a final paragraph to make it all better. So their skills are so lopsidedly benefiting Econ and Milcom that I don't think they'll be full-rounded enough to really do any of the things George put forward, any of the things I've put forward, and any of the ideas Tarox put forward. But Econ's a great thing. To be great at Econ means they'll probably survive long enough, hopefully, for a new leader to step in. Maybe Fist will come back, but I don't think Fist is ever coming back. He's now left every politics and war-related server. And I'm only partially joking, not just not joking, when I say that if Pantheon merged into Morrowind, I could probably save them. Oh yeah, George left the server. I'll unmute you, George, because I like you. So, not the server, the channel. Thank you for what?
Logistic, or no, me, whatever the fuck it is, and I'm gonna go shit on them so hard that they threaten me, and then I'm gonna take that to Leo and be like, Leo, Pantheon threatened me,
And then Leo will call you gay for getting threatened by Pantheon.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can actually, tell me how close this is in his response, word for word. I can imagine his response is he's going to say, give us a few months and you'll regret ever having made jokes about us. I'm going to make Pantheon great again.
Leo or
know.
cool.
So I'm only partially joking when I say a gov merger with Morrowind would probably save them with minimal losses to the Alliance, because I have no government, which means, except for the leader spot, all of their government would be able to keep their positions, and Pantheon will stop existing, which means they'll be able to operate as a micro without the PR of being Pantheon. It'll kind of be like hitting the reset switch. Of course, I'd invite a bunch of more experienced Gov members and not let my Gov be only Pantheon, because I don't want to turn Morrowind into Pantheon.
Have you noticed the fact that a lot of the alliances that split off of Pantheon basically just take the Pantheon government style and do it?
Well, Immortals even calls their high government deities.
Yeah.
That's what Pantheon's low government is called. No, their low government is deities. What the fuck's their high government called?
Olympians.
Jesus Christ, come on, Tyrion, come on! You better be joking about that. I thought Tyrion was better. Come on, he could have gone at least fucking hell, it is Olympiana. Fucking A. That's so lazy. I'm sad. It's like depressed me how lazy that naming is.
I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking about the fact that I was joking when I said that. Are you serious?
You want to know what's even lazier about the Immortals? Alright, so they have a recruitment bot that Badger made. Now, I worked at a recruitment bot with Badger back when Badger was in my alliance, and my subject line was pretty much join us for $1 million. You want to know what their subject line is right now in their recruitment bot? Join us for $1 million. Not word for word, but close enough that I'm like, wait a minute. I was so pissed off about that fact that Dusty can attest. I barged into his embassy and said, war with the Imperials now.
I mean, as a reminder, Pantheon, for a lot of its existence, had a reputation, and George himself uses as a noob army or something like that. The Immortals has 130 members who average less than 600 score. It sounds like the Immortals are a noob army.
Yeah, no, somebody messaged me, I can't remember who it was, and they were like worried about the Immortals. They were another micro I tolerate. I have an ODP with them. I sign ODPs with people because it gives me counter excuses to send my members to raid active people for experience. I don't actually believe an ODP is a good treaty. So, they were like really worried about the Immortals growing, and I just pointed them to the average score. Unless Tyrion fixes their average score, their tiering and everything, they're fucking screwed. Like the Immortals are gonna piss one of the people who hate micros that grow too fast off. BK. Oh shit, I didn't hide that in the coughs. Now the whole world knows. And they're gonna get the shit kicked out of them. No, never. Morrowind would never do that, mainly because Morrowind's besties of Westies is Dusty, and I don't want to hurt Dusty's relationship with BK.
Dusty has a relationship with BK? Question mark.
Sexual. Quite possibly. That's just my conspiracy theory.
George, how long have you been cheating on me with Dusty? Back on topic. Let's not get too sidetracked. One of the main concerns I have for Luke and Nomi, and this is something I had for Rar, this is a concern I had for Ethos, so I guess this concern is going to exist for the entire rest of Pantheon, which fucking plot twist that is. They don't have foreign affairs presence. Like, I'm not even talking about foreign affairs skills, but I mean presence. Like, when you type something on a forum, people look at you as a leader of an alliance and not just as somebody typing on the forum. Let's take George for example. When George types something on the forum, people, they laugh at his jokes and whatever, but they also see it as kind of representative of BK culture. Pantheon hasn't had someone like that since the Emperor left. I tried to become someone like that with my radio show, however, I didn't last long enough to actually take that form. So right now, Pantheon has no PR guy, basically. Nobody who, when they type in the forums, it affects Pantheon's PR. Nobody who has any presence gives Pantheon weight in the foreign community, even if it's super light comedic weight as a joke. Yeah, I was wondering. I was really worried that I disconnected in the middle of my very long paragraph, so I was checking my phone. I mean, I think if they had a presence, they could finally start doing FA that matters.
Yep, Young
when
Money.
you're talking about
BK is
Pantheon,
dumb. They all suck their thumb. They are really bums. What?
And I muted Booty instantly.
Yep, and muted. Great. Now Morrowind gets dragged into fucking Global War 14 when Rose hits me. Anyways,
Both of you to assume.
I don't know. I'm wondering if he doesn't have the Outlander role, so that means he doesn't start automatically muted.
It's bold of you to assume Rose is in condition to hit anyone.
Fucking awesome. Can't wait. I've always felt a presence, at least on the forums, is the best way to start recruitment for people that matter. Not new members do matter. I'm not saying new people to the game don't matter. However, recruitment for people that are leaving their alliance for issues such as I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head. Elijah leaving Yakuza, but not immediately VMing afterwards. People who are leaving their alliance because of internal struggles. So people like Viselli leaving R&R because of Dreadnought being a douche. That kind of stuff. If they leave and you have a presence on the forums, they might think of you as another place to go to. So having forums presence and forums PR is a good way to recruit people that matter. Well, of course, nobody would ever actually say that. That sounds retarded as fuck. But they might think it, or they might think it of BK. Though, of course, you got to think of BK on the forums when you think of BK as an alliance. You think of any alliance's impact on the forums when it comes to the top 15. Because the forums is where official stuff happens. It's how the alliance acts when they want to be officially douchey. You've got to put yourself in their mind. You've got to make them think, all right, if I was leaving Morrowind, I'd join BK. You've got to give them that mentality. I'd say it's at least a mixture of both, because even if old me and Pantheon, so old me and Pantheon before I even really hung out on the forums or even paid attention to the forums, if you came into my PMs and got to know me for however long representing BK, I probably wouldn't have left to go to BK, because from what little I saw on the forums, it was generally BK doing things I didn't like. So your forums, at least for me, so maybe I'm just an odd one. I'm an outlier in this situation because I'm using myself as reference. So take this with a massive grain of salt. I probably would have never joined BK.
Alright, fuck me then.
Have fun in KT. There aren't really any more points I really want to discuss. So, is there anything about the leader? I know both of these, the new two high commands of Pantheon, very well. We pretty much led Pantheon right before I left because RAR had already gone inactive by then. So I've worked with them to an extent that's probably deeper than I worked with Fist or Melyaj. So if you have any questions about them as people, if you have questions about whether or not I think they can pull something out of their ass, go ahead and ask it now. Both my co-hosts and my audience.
Hey George, just a question for George. You've been Gov for a while, and you've seen a lot of Govs. How would you rank Zephyr as a leader? Because Limbu's saying he's only inactive because Limbu's talking about him now. Felky. Good fucking lord. Sean Anthony, truly. Fair enough. Zev, like, people found out Zev gave half of the bank to Dynamic, and then Zev was just like, well, fucking, I'm done. I asked Limbo when the next guy is gonna give Zev half the bank to take over.
Alright, so final closing statements since we're in the last 4 minutes. Basically, in all honesty, Pantheon's future looks grim, but they've survived till now, so I'm going to just give them a chance. I'm going to say they have a small chance. If they can pull their heads out of their asses for the first time in their alliance's half. Alright, show's getting extended. We'll just do small talk about Pantheon until we get an official response from Nomi. Yeah, Pantheon had a pretty small bank when I left.
What?
Like, it was embarrassing.
Why did Pantheon run that 5-5 for the whales? That never made sense
Because
to me.
All right, so it was a logical decision in itself. I hate it because we could have asked for a loan or something. So I'm against it because it's just plain old stupid once you think of the logic as well. But there is a logic behind it. So basically, war was over with Nightfall. Nightfall war was over, and our whales got their shit stomped in because that's what happens in Nightfall. Pantheon gets their whales shit stomped in. So we're poor. For being an Econ Alliance, we're ridiculously poor, actually. It's kind of sad. That was in resources mainly. It was like 5 billion in cash, but that all went towards our main rebuild and towards building a war chest. So I saw the bank like after I took Olympian, so maybe Emperor sent some of that somewhere else.
I know he sent a few hundred million to Typhon before Typhon decided they were done with
So
Pantheon.
when I finally had the rank to see what was in the bank, there was 4 billion in cash. I can't do the math of all the rest of the resources, but we had 4 billion cash. Anyways, back to what I was 5 billion. Actually, no, I'm thinking of later when I saw access to the bank. So before Ethos was Titan, when we were banky sitting, we had 5 billion in cash. Anyways, that wasn't enough to both build a war chest, rebuild our members, and rebuild the whales. So Fist made a backroom deal with all of our whales saying that if they fund their rebuild themselves, he'll keep them on 5/5 tax. Yeah.
Didn't Fist run
he-
Econ for Pantheon at one point before Titan?
I think Fist was IA before he came Titan. I know Yui was IA before she came Titan, but I can't remember. I know Fist was our technical head of Econ.
Fist was also in TKO, so no wonder he's so bad. He has Pantheon and TKO dragging him down.
So the whales got cocky. Even after Fist left, they kept on walking around saying, no, we expect a 5 tax rate. So when we tried so we could have it when we knew somebody was going to. We didn't know it was Nova yet, but after the Syndicate dropped us, oh, I miss Kenneth too. After the Syndicate dropped us and we knew that everybody, all the sharks were swimming around, we were trying to build up and actually do something. And the whales refused to let us raise their taxes and threatened to leave. So Rar came up with this master strategy with me. I'm going to take partial credit, and that was let the whales stay so we can at least get that 5% tax rate until Nova comes, stomps their shit in, and then they leave because they're angry little bitch boy whales and become someone else's problem. And honestly, where are they now? I don't know where any of Pantheon's old whales are.
I don't know, and I'm too lazy to go look it up.
I think some of them like joined Nova. But
I know
we
a
all know what
couple of
happened
them.
to Nova.
Yeah, I know Panty and some others are in TCW.
Was it Ares? I think Ares was the whale representative that we talked to, so I've never actually interacted with Panty or the others. It was just Ares who we talked to, and Ares' approach was pretty much, when he talked to me, he was very friendly, but he was not very friendly when he talked to Rar, but it was pretty much, don't raise our taxes, Rar's a horrible leader, fuck you.
Legendary.
That brings us to the end of our time frame. Do you have a response from Nomi? George. Just making sure. Do you have a response from Nomi? Oh, I thought you DM Nomi saying insulting him, so
We have confirmation Nomi is here.
yeah, 6 says thanks for the love. All right, we're a minute over. I'm just going to say my closing statements. You guys think of any of yours. In all honesty, Pantheon's future looks grim, but they've survived until now, so I'll say they have a chance. Your opinion, Tarak?
I mean, they've been in bad situations before, but I think even for their standards, this is a pretty bad one.
This is definitely a new low. In all my studies of Pantheon's history, from both people who like Pantheon, so they've exaggerated how great Pantheon is, and people who hate Pantheon, so they've definitely commented on how horrible Pantheon is. I don't think Pantheon's ever been in as bad a position as they have been since February 14th. All right. Well, Great show. Who wants to get unmuted? I'm going to unmute everybody. If you leave the channel, you will be remuted. So go ahead and tell me if you want to get unmuted if you accidentally leave the channel, or just
Okay.
leave the channel if you want to stay muted and don't tell me you want to get unmuted.
Don't
Also,
you
somebody
dare
type in
unmute
the
Booty.
command to.
Don't you dare unmute Booty.
Yeah. No. He's saying I don't know if I've notified you guys. Yeah. I got him confirmed for an interview next week. It's just going to be a side piece because we already covered Pantheon tonight.
Yeah.
He joined. Yeah, not far from the truth. Not far from the.
That's around what we said. You want to give us a teaser for next week's interview? You've been unmuted, Nomi.
No, he hasn't. I'm looking at it.
Well, he's muted himself, but I unmuted him on the server, so now it's his fault if he's still muted. Hey.
Speak, motherfucker. That's Limbo laughing. Hey, Limbo, you enjoying being in Rose, Limbo?
I don't think that was Limbu laughing.
You're unmuted, you son of a bitch. Use your words.
Oh shit, Craig's still talking, listening. Fuck, how do I get him to shut up? Well, he's not talking. How do I get him to make us shut up?
Craig, you're banished to the Shadow Realms.
Say Craig
Nope,
leave,
didn't work.
like
Is it like, is the command just stop? Oh, it's leave. That's gay.